Hello and welcome to have a look at this new video. If you're new in this channel, my name is Viljo Manneröki and I'm part of the accordion artisans, professionals who are knowing how to work with accordions. In this video we are going to have a look what things you should have a look when purchasing an accordion. And first thing is of course that you want to buy an accordion. Perhaps you don't know where to get them, perhaps you know. But all the same things what we are going to look in this video, inside the accordion, outside the accordion, is good to have a look in all kind of accordions. Big, small, diatonic, chromatic, doesn't matter. So first thing what you want to do is to know what kind of instruments you want to have. For example, if you are a newbie, perhaps you want to have quite cheap accordion. Or if you are professional, you want to have very good accordion just fitting for your needs. Nevertheless, there is pros and cons always. If you are buying a cheap accordion, most likely there is something wrong. Perhaps there's air leaks or something. If you're buying an expensive accordion, most likely you are expecting it to be mint. After you have found an instrument type you want to have, perhaps you have gone to a local accordion dealer to test accordions. Perhaps found 1, 2 or 3 what might fit you. Or you might have found accordions online. Or if you have a teacher, he or she might have recommended you an accordion. Especially if you are buying from online, be careful because there is also people willing to say things which is not true. For example, saying this is good accordion and this is valuable accordion even if it's not. Or there might be a total hoax and steal your money. So be sure that when buying online you have good conditions. Ask to have a possibility to test the accordion. When buying an accordion online, check the salesperson's background, as in like, is he trustful? Is there lots of accordions he's selling, or is it just nobody who knows nothing about an accordion? If so, make sure that the person who are making deal with is a trustful person. If you're buying from a company, most likely you can trust their word quite good, but still make sure that everything is okay and you're going to have a good accordion. So when you're making the purchase, ask always from the person that, hey, where did you get this accordion? Do you play an accordion? In this way you're able to make sure that the story of the accordion and it's not stolen. In some cases you're able to find articles from the National Accordion Association. They might have websites or they might have magazines you can read. There might be time to time articles about stolen accordions or persons who are not selling proper items. So make sure that the accordion is okay to be purchased. And always when sending accordion with a delivery company, make sure that the accordion is well packed and it's in good condition before sending and after sending. Let's have a look at this accordion. First things before you take it to your lab to test it, of course you have thought that, hey, I want this kind of accordion. Perhaps the very first things to look technical aspects is that is everything working? Here you can test, for example, registers, are they sliding easily? Also the bass side. And when it comes to the free bass accordion, as this is, so remember to test also the converter system. Also, when making international purchases, make sure that you have a correct type of layout. Piano accordion, quite simple, it's piano accordion, but with button layouts you have lots of different variations. For example, this one is Finnish key system, and also the free bass is a Finnish system. So if I sell this to mid-Europe, for example, most likely there is nobody who can play this one. The very first thing you want to do when having an accordion in your lap after setting the straps properly for you is to test the air tightness. So just take lots of air to bellow and press it. This seems quite okay, but everybody is having enough power to make it leak. So if I press a lot, they will leak. But main thing is that it's okay to play, and there's not needed too much power to play either. The most common air leaks are on the bellows side, valvets and gaskets on the both sides of the bellow. The gaskets you're able to check the best with your ear and with your cheek and on the back of your palm. Those are the most sensitive areas. So let's take an example. Let's assume that we have a leak somewhere here. So you press, you can feel the airflow coming to your chin. Okay, you're not perhaps totally sure is it here or there. You can hear it also. And then you can perhaps test with the finger a bit, pressing the bellow against the body. So then you might understand, hey, okay, the leak is here, some fixing is needed. Remember also to check all the sides. Take the accordion upside down, test from the very back and top and bottom, every corners. And when you are making this pressure test, make sure that you have selected the master switches on both sides, so then you know is it leaking. When this test has been done, and if you're happy, continue. And if you're not happy, just make a note that this and that has to be fixed. One of the most important thing is how the accordion feels to you. I am not going to take any talk about that one because it's personal matter. Next thing is to have a look the tuning. And we are not going to listen any fourths or fifths. Octaves is enough in this case. So take a switch which is having single reed playing with no tremolo. So for example, the low, mid or high. I normally start with the mid-range, single one. And just take octaves here and there with push and pull bellow. And listen carefully if there is tremolo. It should be rather sharp. And one thing I want to warn you is that if the accordion is in horrible tune, it is also possible it cannot be tuned anymore with those reeds. Listen to the octaves. Okay, you can test everywhere if you want, no problem. Let's take another set of reed, low reeds now. Okay, there is some things you should tune. So in this case, I know that this accordion is 15 years old approximately, and it would be needed tuning. You can take also some sets of reeds where it's two sets of reeds at the same time. In this case, if you take the so-called tango, low and highest note, then you can find the most untuned areas in the very top. Most likely every accordion is having those, more or less. Also, what you can check from the melody side at the same time is that if the accordion buttons or keys are in a rows. So check from the top, are the rows more or less straight line. It's easy to do in this phase. Then on the bass side, if you are having a free bass, take a set of reed where it's only, yet again, one reed playing at the, in one go. And take octaves here and there. That's the best way. You can go also the high notes, no problem. If you're having a standard bass accordion only, take a a register where is 2, 3 sets of reeds. You can have also the master on everything, perhaps 4 or 5 sets of reeds, but then there is most likely be more wobbling direction up and down and every direction actually. That might make it hard to listen. However, if it just sounds bad, then it sounds bad. That's about it. In this case, let's take same register as previously. When you're playing the accordion, testing it, listen also the voices and noises and everything you can hear, not only how does it feel. One example, if the valves are getting to a ski, like they're going straight and then they are bending strongly in the tip, quite often you are able to hear them as well. So take a single reed set and push and pull the bellows with different pressures. So you're able to hear some bad leathers actually quite easily. But in this case, perhaps it's the best that you open the accordion because you have to see the reeds as well. Are they clean? Are they rusty? And so on. Let's have a look more accurately the accordion. So first things, take the paddings and covers away. In this one, if it's well used, you can find easily wear and tear on the edges, especially on the bottom edge, because that's having the most touch to the player. If it's bad, change it. It's for your comfortability. Second thing to test and have a look is your straps. So let's turn the accordion a bit, and there is the metal connector for the straps. Check it so that you take the straps off and open the attachment part properly. Then you can see the areas where the leather has gone very, how to say, thin or started to be something else than what it was when it was new. Especially if there's small cracks, that might indicate it would be cutting itself soon off. Also, check that the strap is good. There is no wear and tear on the soft side, and the back side is as well proper. One thing to note, if you have artificial leather, then most likely your strap is in one position and one position only, especially if it's old one. They will get hard in time. So if you have a proper leather, that would be the best to have. Then it's easy to bend. Okay, when making the inspection, take the straps off, so it's easier. And remember to check also the straps on the bottom side, same way that we did on the top side. Look especially to the body now, the corners. So if you find broken corners, especially the bass side, it doesn't matter if it's up and down, but the corners, so it's fixable. If the body is broken, most likely it is fixable, but still make sure that you are aware of it. Same way on the melody side, these corners are the weakest parts, so they might be also cracked if the accordion has been maintained badly or have had a hit or something. Also on the bottom side, especially on the low bass side, that's the area which hits the most to the floor and this and that. So most likely there is scratches. If there's lots of scratches and deep ones, perhaps the very deepest ones cannot be fixed to be very perfect anymore without just sanding and polishing. Small wear and tear can be polished to be very nice again. No problem with that one. Next thing is to check the melody side. In piano accordion the layout is a bit different, but the basic thing is the same. So when you take anything off Making sure that you have the screws exact position and they go exact the same place always. In this case, we take the grill off. The grill is fine, and we start to have a look more carefully to the mechanisms. As you tested earlier, the registers, you can take some kind of small screwdriver, or I have this kind of what is called a brass stick or needle or something like that, self-made. So I can also test individually from the register mechanism, is it working properly. If there is something, you can, this is a bit advanced, you can, but you don't need to, you can unleash a bit the springs in somewhere in the top side of the mechanism, and then you can test with your finger, is it working smoothly. If there is something it doesn't move properly, then you know that there is something to be fixed. There's lots of different types of attachments, but in this case we are having perhaps the most common nowadays, that you have a pallet made from wood, in this case can be plastic as well, and then you have a wax there to connect it to the metal rods. So make sure that this wax is properly set. If the accordion is, let's say, 30-40 years old or something like that, then the wax starts to be fragile and old, so there might be cracks. In long term, that would mean that if playing hard, they might drop off and there comes air leaks. So make sure that the wax is okay and the connections are okay. Another thing to have a look is it made good? In this case we are having leather on the top, bottom, and then we have felt, and all the felts looks the same, they are nicely cut, there is no bad cuts, which indicates it has been done by a professional. So if the overview is nice, it's most likely it's going to be okay. You can use again the stick or the screwdriver to test the leathers and felts. If the accordion is airtight, this perhaps is not needed, but I always check like this: is the leather still alive? Is it flexible? If the leather is and the felt is totally hard, and if there is some air leaks already, so most wise in that case would be to change the felts and leathers. Everything looks quite fine on this side. On the buttons or keys, buttons especially, have a look that they are in straight lines, as you did earlier, perhaps. You can also have a look with a ruler, measure some straight tool, are they straight. That might be a bit too accurate in this case, but it's also possible to do. Let's go more carefully to the tools, what you're going to need now. I have here a few examples. We are going to need a screwdriver. Depending on if you need, might be normal head or some other head. If you're using pliers, any kind of pliers, most likely they are having some grip area here in the tip, and those are making quite nasty marks to all places you are putting them on. So if you're using any kind of pliers, put tape around it, so when you're using it there will be no marks to accordion parts. I am not using this kind of normal. Instead what I use is just a bit different kind of tools. In this case this is just regular tool. I have made a small hole over there just to make it sure that if I grab the pin, so there will be no marks to the pin itself or the accordion. There is lots of pins in accordion, so basically the melody side, bellows, and bass side is connected with the pins around the body attachment area. So it might be screws or pins. Let's take the pins out now. And when you take these off, make sure that these are going to be exact the same order. You can also put some kind of cloth on the table or something soft and put these on that so they won't roll anywhere or go around. Take the pins off from the melody side so you can put the accordion in two parts, split easily, and there's a few reasons. One is here. When you open, take it from the top side first, and if the accordion is having any electronics, MIDI attachments or microphones, make sure that you are taking it like this so you're able to take the wire first off. The first thing you want to have a look on the melody side is the general view. Does it look clean and nice, or is it looking dirty and horrible? In this case we are having an accordion which has not been fixed. It's factory made settings more or less. So first things in the reed blocks would be to have a look at the attachment. So the wooden part here is the reed block, and the metal areas here, plates, are reed plates, and they are attached with a wax to the reed block. So make sure that these top areas in all of the reed blocks, they are clean in that sense that there is no cracks. When the wax is getting old, it will get more fragile and there will be cracks. If there is cracks of any kind, the accordion, perhaps you can play with it, but it's not on the condition to tune it. So make sure that the wax is fine. On the bass side, you have to do the same, and especially the biggest reed block on the bass side is giving the biggest cracks, because there is the biggest expansion in the aluminium. Okay, next thing is to have a look the valves. So you can see here the white ones, and the very top there is nothing here, but there can be plastic, leather on the end, lower end, or it can be leather and plastic at the same time. Make sure that those are clean, straight, and they look nice. If the valve is going like a ski, getting the tip bends outwards strongly, so it will give some disadvantages in the sound. There will be, if you, for example, change the bellow direction, there will be some changes in the sounds, unwanted sounds. So if it looks clean and nice, most likely I'm ready to go. You don't need to take the reed blocks off, only if you need to have more accurate inspection, for example the reed block bottom, but not in this case. If you cannot see the reeds properly, take one reed block off and have a look the filings. If there's lots of filings, be careful that, because it might be also that reed has been filed too much. You can also have a look at the reed quality, but if you don't know about the reed quality, ask from a professional. When you're checking these reed blocks, check also the attachment part for the straps. Just have a look if they are properly attached. If they are not, there is bolts on the inside you can easily tighten. On the bass side, we are going to do the exact the same with the melody side. With the reed blocks, check the waxes, is there cracks or not. Check the valves, are they nice, straight and clean. Also the tuning marks is good to have a look. In this case I am not going to check the register more carefully because it works fine. However, what I'm going to have a look is the bellows inside. Just overview, is it looking fine? If there would have been air leaks, you would have found it already. Also on the bellows you can open the top part, and quite often on the top part there's a lot of trash. This is the reason why we didn't take the bellows off from the bass side. So it's easy to put on the table and you have easy access to all the screws. So you can have a look from the top view. Are the buttons straight? Also look from the sideways. Are the buttons straight? Are they on the same level? Are there lots of movement without anything happen? So you can also check take an individual button here. A corner is easy to check if there's up and down movement without anything happening. As in, like, you can feel when there is happening something in the mechanism, it comes more heavy. But if there's very loose attach, so you can test it here now. If you're having a standard bass accordion, most likely if it's airtight and all buttons are working while you play, most likely it is fine. And in most cases you don't need to open this one. But now we go a bit more deep dive. So first thing, take the bass strap out. There is the roll on the top. Unroll. In old accordions you might have screws here. And especially in the old accordions, the leather might be so fragile so it might crack. In this case it's fine. Take a screwdriver. There's normally one in the middle or four, like two in the both ends. In some cases there's also one screw in the middle. So open those. And it opens quite easily. Lift a bit and lift again. So it's off. Here we go to more details. So if you don't know what to do, don't go here. Give it to a professional. If you are testing your first time, take an accordion which is your own or accordion which is very cheap. So there would be no harm caused by an accident. Okay, in this case we are having a converter system, but basically in the top part, closest to the buttons, is the standard bass side, or straddle bass, and at the bottom we are having the converter system. Note also that I'm working now as a worker's point of view and you are watching it opposite. So when taking accordion, I take buttons away from me. First thing, as I said earlier, you can test are they going up and down movement without anything happening in the mechanism. This is the area. There is most often a wooden cam where all the metal rods are going into. So you can have a look them. If there is the stopper, aluminum stopper, and between the wood part, if there's a lot of movement without any of these parts moving, then there is a need for adjustments. If there is, let's say, 1 millimeter, perhaps it's fine for you. If there is 3 millimeters, then your buttons are very low already, and, or 2 millimeters even. So make sure that these are more or less on the top. If you're making the same thing with the free bass, so just switch to the system and have a look on the bottom. You can test it like this. In most of the cases there is nothing special happening over here because the structure is so. If there is, a professional can fix it to be as it should. So, in bass side we are not going to check the bottom part. It's not needed in this case, and also if you check the melody side properly, most likely the melody side is fixed at the same time than the bass side. The bass side is having the same leathers and felts. If there is air leaks, most likely they are on the melody side. Bass side is having less air leaks usually because the structure is more sturdy. Okay, there's nothing special here anymore at what we can do, so just let's cover this up now. And when it comes to the bass strap, there is the attachment part. So it's easy to put just downwards like this, and then bolt it together or screw it, tight it, it's good. Okay, now the bass side is done. And after everything has been checked, just assemble everything back, just the opposite order. So on attaching, put first the bottom side, and then if you have the microphone or something wire, put it on. Carefully set it on the slot. Take a pin. Perhaps you want to use the screw driver's other end to push the pin if it's not going easily. In some cases you have to press slightly downwards to have the pinhole correctly set. And then the back part and straps. And with the straps, remember that if they are let's say old, you know that they're very old, they can also smell quite bad because people are sweating when they're playing accordion. So just for your comfortability, you can buy new straps. Okay, now the accordion is back in one piece and you have now lots of information about the accordion. Let's say approximately if you're having 20-year-old accordion you want to have, most likely the first thing to be fixed is the tuning. If you're having older accordion, let's say 30 or 40 years old, then there might be waxwork as well, as a maintenance work, not fixing. If there's something broken, it has to be fixed. So if you don't know how to do it, take a close look to a dealer or a professional who fixes accordions. And that's not all. After you have found out everything is fine, or if it's not, make sure that you have budget for it also. As in, you have to purchase it, money goes, but if there's something to be fixed, make sure that you have some money for that too. In some cases it might be more expensive to fix the accordion than buying it. So if you have, let's say, $500 or €500 accordion, there might be a need for a maintenance of the same amount or more. It depends so much how the accordion has been maintained and has been even maintained. Where it has it been in a wrong use, in gigs or something, or has the accordion been just in home, somebody has played on Sundays or something. So make sure everything is exact you want, and make sure that you are able to also have the accordion to the good nick, because if the accordion is in good shape, it's nicer to play. Okay, that's all this time. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit also the like button and make some comments. We are going to make more videos in future. Tell us what you want to hear. To the next time. See you.